Well, as we get into August of 2025, I wanted to bring you guys a little bit of an update. Got some more numbers for this month and wanted to kind of explain some of the stuff that we're seeing. Getting a lot of questions nowadays. Always get the question, how's the market? Wanted to explain what that answer looks like for buyers and sellers right now. So this market is getting normal. That's what I'm telling people. It's getting more normal than what we've seen in the last few years. What do I mean by more normal? Well, we're starting to see our monthly inventory start to creep up into the 5 and 6 month range. Obviously, different areas, residential versus vacant land, commercial, those things do vary, but we're talking about residential today in the greater northern Idaho, Kootenai County, mostly some Bonner, some Shoshone. One of the things that I thought was really cool, because last year was hard, and we know that, and this year's getting about the same. I mean, it's tough. The title company let me know that there's about a 30% cancellation rate right now on deals, where their average is about 17%. Okay, and there's a lot of factors that go into that. I've seen some kooky ones. When it boils down to it, there's a lot of things going on in the world in general, in our economy, that's changing that. But one fact that I really liked is in July of 2025, we closed 494 transactions up here, where last July, we saw 456. Not a huge change, but we're improving, okay? And so we're starting to see some of the numbers come in a little bit better, and that's a good thing. That's what we need. Folks, mortgage rates are hovering right around the 6.5% to 7% range. That's maybe going to change, but a lot of buyers are starting to accept, hey, it's going to be here. What am I going to do with it? Prices are starting to settle down a little bit, and the motivated are still making deals happen. So in our area right now, we're seeing right around that 2,300 inventory for houses on the market active. We've seen an expired rate of, or not a rate, but we've seen a little over 700, about 745 expires. A lot of those are going back onto the market. Now, what's it mean when something expires? Well, it means that the time frame for that listing or for that home or property that's on the market has canceled. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not for sale anymore. It might come back on the market with the same agent, new days on market. It might come back on the market with a different agent, test something new. Might go off the market for seasonality purposes. I know I've had some listings, some homes for sale in the past that have come off the market for the winter. But I'll tell you that right now, with showings, they have definitely gone up in the month of July. But something that I've noticed, and I've talked to a few other agents that have noticed the same trend, there's a larger number of showings until it goes pending. And what's that mean for you as a buyer and you as a seller? Well, you as a buyer, you're probably going to go see more houses. You have that opportunity now. I mean, shoot, a few years ago, you had to write an offer in the driveway of the first house you went to because it was just that quick, that rapid. Now, you might get to go see the house, the property 2-3 times, measure for where your couch goes, make sure your bed set fits. For sellers, it means that you're going to have more people coming through. And I have definitely noticed a larger amount, at least on the showing side of things. I've noticed a larger amount of people coming through that they're ready to buy, they're able to buy. It's just they're not motivated enough to buy. They're looking for that instead of 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 check boxes that the house marks off. They're looking for that 8 out of 10. They've got more inventory, and they also know that the mortgage rates dictate that they're going to be paying a little bit more, and so they want to make sure that that house is just right. Buyers are still buying, sellers are still selling. It's the motivated that are getting things to happen. So one trend that we're seeing a lot of is sellers are starting to offer quite a bit of concessions to buyers, which means basically a seller will offer a little bit of money at closing to either pay for closing costs or buy down the rates of the buyers. And buyers are asking for a few more repairs, right? They're being a little bit more picky. Again, going back to that 30% cancellation rate, part of that does have a big factor in it. But really, when it comes down to pricing of a home, and that's what a lot of sellers want to know is what's the price of my home. The thing that we're doing as agents here, we've always done this when it comes to looking at comparables. Okay, so let's say you want to sell your house. The house down the street just sold last week, and it sold for $500,000, let's say, and it's the exact same size and everything else as yours. Well, if you think about how historic that is, what that data means, well, if that house just sold, it probably was under contract for 30 days. Average days on market right now is 96 days. So that house might have been on the market for 60 days before it went under contract. So now we're close to 100, 90 to 100 days, 3 months, that house went onto the market. It might have had a price reduction or two. We're seeing a lot of those. And when it went onto the market 3 months ago, they had done the comparables 2-3 weeks prior to that. So the data to get this thing closed here might be months old, 3, 4, 5 months old. And we as real estate agents are looking to not only the history to help price your home right, but now we're also future casting, and that's really important. What do we think this market's going to do? It's August. It's the first part of August right now. If you're thinking about going onto the market, and maybe it's going to take you a week or two to get everything cleaned, and then we got to get pictures, marketing, and blah, blah, blah. You might be middle of August, first part of September till you hit the market. Well, that market's going to be different than what happened in June and or July of 2025. So a good real estate agent is not only using historical data, they're staying up on what's happening today, but also seeing, what's going to happen tomorrow. Obviously, we don't have crystal balls. Well, maybe some do, but I don't. I left mine back at the car. And so they're looking at it and giving the sellers the advice that they need to put their house on the market at the right price and meet their motivations. I tell sellers all the time, right? Like, there's a different strategy for every home, every seller, because not every seller has the same motivations or needs. And so that's really important. Or they don't have the same house. This condo might be different than this house, might be different than this vacant land. And so it's really important as a real estate agent to stay on top of not only the historical data, but the current market data. Hope this helps. And if you guys have any questions about the market, where we think it's going, I've got news for you. It's probably not going to get to be an exciting market, but the market doesn't have any signs of crashing. Please don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll see you next month.